Hi, everyone. Welcome to Gratitude Tuesday. My name is Raina. I'm a recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. So this month we've been talking a lot about gratitude and mental health because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Today we're going to talk more about self-care and mental health and the different connections on how self-care can help improve your mental health. So this article comes from Psychology Today, and it says self-care may seem like nothing more than the latest buzzword or passing trend, but in reality, it is a commitment to ourselves, a promise to factor ourselves into the equation of our lives. When we optimize self-care, we feel better, look better, and have more energy. And quality self-care is linked to improved mental health with benefits like enhanced self-esteem and self-worth, increased optimism, a positive outlook on life, and lower levels of anxiety and depression. It's a lot of positive things that self-care can add to your life. Goes on to say we're all we have, and we owe it to ourselves to take care of our physical and mental health. While we don't set out to do ourselves harm, self-care often ends up last on the list of priorities in our busy lives. And I know I am guilty of that, like putting myself last and then, paying for the down the line. The road of self-sacrifice is paved with good intentions. We sacrifice ourselves to meet deadlines, help others, and show others we love and care for them by going above and beyond to help them. We overextend, overpromise, and exhaust ourselves so often and so much that we don't even realize how tired and stressed we are. And that is very true. I have been guilty of this over and over and over again, whether it would be, raising my children and putting them first, obviously, but not taking care of myself as well. Or agreeing to help someone with something that, was beyond my means and I probably should have stepped back. Working a job that is overly stressful and, kind of like went into my personal life. So causing stress and then you don't realize it a lot of times until it hits you and then it's kind of too late. So, practicing the self-care in advance can help prevent you from that burnout. So it goes on to say when we're tired, angry, and dissatisfied with ourselves, we reach for a quick fix to feel better. We overindulge in habits and behaviors that often temporarily lead or distraction, but do not make things better. So if you're joining us because you are someone in recovery or someone seeking recovery, we are pretty much all guilty of this. We had all these things that we couldn't handle or things that built up that just became too much. And instead of actually addressing the situation and taking care of ourselves, we look for a quick fix. So anything that'll either take your mind off of it or, you don't have to worry about it anymore or make you just not care. Pretend it didn't happen, pretend it's not there. Like all these things we used, drugs and alcohol as a distraction, thinking that it would make things better. In the long run, 99% of the time, it doesn't make anything better. It goes on to say, when the day is done, we're often too tired to sleep, and we wake up the next day and do it all over again. The solution? Bringing in quality self-care that sustains us and ensures that we factor ourselves into the equation of our lives. And it talks about that. We're often too tired to sleep. How many of you have been there? I know I have. You get overly tired and then it's just like your body is so stimulated and your mind so stimulated that it makes it harder to sleep. And I know for me, when I was, using and working a job that was extremely stressful, alcohol was the only way I slept because I just kept going and going and going. And then I looked for that quick fix so I could get to bed and get up the next day and do it all over again. And that became a habit, a very unhealthy habit of trying to deal with something that could have been dealt with self-care. So the next part goes on to talk about self-care and energy. Self-care evolved around caring for and maximizing our four sources of energy: the food we eat, our sleep, our breath, or the physical activity levels, and our state of mind. Many experts frame tending these four aspects of life as the four pillars of quality self-care. Integrating quality self-care into our lives is a powerful way to reconnect and reinvigorate ourselves, mind, body, and soul. So it talks about the four things: the food we eat, our sleep, our physical activity, and our state of mind. So they are four things that we need to take care of and we need to nourish in order to have, better self-care and a better way of living. And I know for myself, like, eating is a huge struggle, like eating healthy. Because when I came into recovery, my body was like, you haven't fed me for years. And so then I started replacing the drugs with food. And eventually, my health got out of whack. I gained way more weight than I ever intended to. And until recently, I hadn't really put any focus into taking care and, eating healthy again. And I've noticed it's been like about 3 weeks, and I've noticed that like I feel better. My body doesn't feel so bloated and tired and like I'm going to explode. Just by changing the way I eat, it has such a huge impact. And it's very important, especially in these days where everything's like fast, fast, fast. You will just run through the drive-thru. We'll just run to Wawa. We'll just do this. We'll do that. And none of that is nourishing, our bodies the way it needs to be. That also affects our sleep. You're not eating right. It can cause weird dreams. It can keep you from sleeping, interrupted sleeping. And then obviously the physical activity as well. If you're not eating foods that are energizing and feeding your body and your metabolism, trying to do physical activity seems impossible. Like I know, like for me, like I would go to the gym and be like, oh my God, this is like so hard because I have more weight than I was used to. And then like the food I was eating was not supporting the kind of physical activity I was trying to achieve. And then you take all three of those things and your state of mind just drops. Like you want to give up and this is too hard. It was just easier doing this. And like you just get into like that dark place again. So by maximizing those four sources of energy, it will help you. Like it takes a while, it takes commitment, it takes effort, but it's well worth it in the long run. So it goes on to say, unlike a shiny new vehicle, we don't come with an owner's manual. But if we did, we'd all have the basic knowledge to fuel ourselves with fresh, high quality and nutrition-rich foods. We would know to keep problematic behaviors and habits in check. We would know how to talk to ourselves with kindness and compassion and challenge our negative beliefs and self-defeating thoughts. We would take the time to move our bodies daily, to breathe deep, nourishing breaths. We would know how to prepare for and prioritize quality sleep. And we would understand the importance of pursuing interests and connections that bring us joy and a sense of connection to our daily lives. So, again, those four things, you put the effort into those four things to help improve your overall feeling. Like prioritizing what's important, prioritizing self-care, because without that self-care, you're not really much good to anyone else. So like, and we talk about that a lot in recovery. If you're not taking care of yourself and you're not putting that effort into your recovery and, improving things in your life, then you're not going to be able to be any good to anyone else or help anyone else. So, I think a lot of us think we come into recovery and it's like, okay, I stopped using drugs, I'm good now. And it's so much more than that. That's just the start. That's just where you have to start to get a clear head in order to, be able to do this self-care that we neglected for years and years while using. And it's new. It's something new. It just doesn't come, very easily to most of us. I know for myself, it didn't. Like, I've been in recovery for almost 5 years now, and probably the past year or so is really when I've been focusing on that self-care and realizing how important it is to my mental well-being. So the next section, it talks about the absence of self-care. For people suffering from mental illnesses like depression, every day is a challenge. I used to run groups for people suffering from depression. In our sessions, I would take everyone through an exercise of listing things they enjoyed, things of interest and value to them, and things that made them smile. After everyone had completed their list, I would ask them to take a few minutes to reflect on how many of those activities they had engaged in over the previous week and share their thoughts. Each week, almost everyone reported that they had not done any of the enjoyable activities on their list. I was having this conversation last night about how, when you're like in a relationship with someone, you have to kind of find balance. So, and you have to find balance between work and play, and you have to find balance between the self-care and helping others. And, balance is very, very difficult to do. One of the ways that you can start to find some of that balance is, engaging in a hobby or something else that you enjoy doing. So like if I were to have to make this list, one of the top things that I enjoy is kayaking. Like I can't wait, the warm days are here and it's something that I enjoy a lot. It helps me unwind, it's relaxing, you get out, it's enjoyable, and it's part of my self-care. So I try and make an effort to do it as often as I can, when the weather's nice. And then there's like little things during the day that I like to draw. I like to write. So I try and take like, lunch break and like work on some drawings or, something that, I enjoy every day. Because if you don't have like just something that makes you feel like calm or that brings you happiness, if you're just go, 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 it's very hard to like break that constant pattern and to stop and work on something. Like I put my art and my writing to the side for many years because of addiction. And it is something that I really enjoyed. It just lost priority behind the drugs. And now that, I am away from that, I try and focus more on those positive things that I enjoy doing. To help me relax, to help me, find some purpose, whatever it may be. So I would recommend that. I would recommend writing a list, like what are some activities you enjoy, even if it's just spending time with friends, making a couple hours on the weekend just to hang out and catch up. Those things are very important, the socialization, and the group activities and like the amount of support that offers you. I know, like for me, like I belong to a 12-step fellowship and we have a lot of activities and they're a great way to get, out, to get, social, bring your family, they're really great events and they show like this support and this camaraderie and in sobriety that, and also get you out and doing something that you enjoy. So the next part talks about connecting to ourselves. This group exercise illustrates a valuable lesson in resilience. Resilience isn't something we do or don't have. It is something we build and reinforce every day. Through having compassion for ourselves and purposely engaging in things that makes us feel good when we have low self-esteem or struggling, we connect to our power, our ability to lift and support ourselves through whatever comes our way. Self-care involves valuing ourselves enough to make our health, well-being, and happiness a priority. It means having compassion for ourselves by acknowledging when we are struggling, overextending ourselves, and feeling unwell. And that is, I love that, like compassion for ourselves. Because I know if you're someone in recovery, you can commiserate, you can empathize, you can find compassion, all these different things for someone who is struggling with addiction or someone that is struggling with, some other personal issues. It's very easy to have compassion for others. It's not so easy to have compassion for ourselves. And most importantly, we need to have that compassion for ourselves. We need to tell ourselves it's okay if you can't finish this today. It's okay if you need a break. It's okay to take some time to like unwind and relax and like de-stress. Because if we don't have compassion or empathy for ourselves, then we're going to get caught back up in that chaos. And I know, like for me, when I was using, there was no compassion for myself. I was abusing my own body, my spirit, my mind, like everything. I had like no self-worth because I wasn't taking care of myself. I didn't value myself. So in recovery, I've learned that, we have to value who we are. We have to have that compassion for ourselves and take advantage of that self-care as often as possible to keep going. I'm very fortunate to work in this field because we are mainly people in recovery. So we know how important it is to be on top of that self-care. And then hopefully we can, instill that in others as well to help them along with their recovery journey. So the last part is just 5 steps for enhancing self-care. So we need to understand that we can step back, press pause, and direct our energy on taking care of ourselves. We need to realize that we can choose to live our lives in a way that supports and optimizes both our physical and mental health, fitness, and well-being. So this is number 1, make quality a priority in your life. Quality food, rest, and time to connect with friends, family, and ourselves feeds, repairs, and restores the body, mind, and spirit. And that key word, quality, the quality time that you spend with people, not when you're sitting in the living room and you're all on your phones and not really communicating. The quality of the food we're putting in our bodies, not just McDonald's or some other fast food, healthy things, the quality of your rest. I know that's something I still struggle with. The quality of my sleep is not where it should be. I wake up a lot during the night. I toss and turn. You know what I mean? I might get some sleep, but the quality of it isn't there. The quality to restore the quality time spent to restore your body, mind, and spirit. Because you don't want to, for the lack of a better word, half-ass it, because that's the results you're going to get. You want to do that quality time for yourself and others. Number 2 says to pay attention to your thoughts. Challenge negative self-talk, fears, and feelings of inadequacy. We talk about that a lot. It's, with the gratitude, changing that negative thinking to positive thinking. You can sit in the, I don't have this, or why did this person do that to me, or why is this happening to me, or, poor me. Or you can choose to switch that to positive thinking where it's like, well, I have this, and I'm doing this, and I'm proud of myself because of this. All these different ways to try and get you out of feeling inadequate and beneath, and to realize that you are just as worthy and just as important as anybody else. Number 3 says, be as nice to yourself as you are to others. We're often our harshest critics and most relentless worst enemies. And I will put 15 exclamation points at the end of this, because this is me. It's so easy for me to find the amazing qualities in others, the talent in others. But when I look at myself, I nitpick everything. Like I said, I like to draw and write. So I'll draw something and, my boyfriend will be like, oh, wow, that's really great. And I'm like, you think? I wish I did this here. Or and I will start nitpicking it. And just wanting to change it. And instead of just accepting yeah, I did a pretty good job. Or even just accepting the compliment that I did a good job is hard. So we have to be as kind to ourselves as we are to other people. And it can be a struggle. I know it is for me. And I just want to you didn't do that right, or, keep myself up at night because I said this and it didn't sound right, or, you know what I mean? We overthink and we overcomplicate, and, we just got to find that kindness for ourselves. The next one says, start saying no. I'm going to put a bunch of exclamation points on this one too, just so you know. No to requests to help others when you are running on empty or don't have the time to take care of your own need. Probably the first 3.5 to 4 years of my recovery was doing more for others than myself. Whether it was going out of my way to, give people rides when I had to be somewhere, or, helping someone else through their struggle, or providing a roof over someone else's head who didn't appreciate it or, contribute anything positive to me, I was taking away from myself the entire time and then wondering why I wasn't happy. And I know saying no is not easy. And you've probably heard this before, but there's a saying that no is a complete sentence. I don't owe you an explanation. I don't have to, you know what I mean, like provide you with anything other than the fact that no, I cannot do this. A lot of times I get better at saying no, but I'll go into this explanation like I need to prove myself, or, make sure that you realize that I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying this for X, Y, Z. Or I'm saying this because it's going to take away from something else that I should be doing, or something else I need to be doing, or someone else that I've already agreed to help with, like the overextending. So like still trying to say, no, I can't do that without proving to you why is still a struggle. But being able to say no is a big step for me. And then number 5, stay connected to yourself. Engage in an activity or experience that brings you joy, no matter how briefly. Sit in the sunshine, listen to a favorite song, meet a friend, walk in nature. Simply do something that brings joy and love and keeps you connected to yourself. And this goes back to like finding the hobbies and the things that you enjoy doing, and making them important in your day-to-day life. I know where I live, I have a river that runs through my backyard. And if I walk down the street where, some like people will fish, I go and I sit out there and I enjoy the quiet. It takes me like 2 minutes to walk from my house just to get some fresh air, just to get some serenity, and just watch the water and relax, and it doesn't have to be for a long period of time. Like, I don't have to sit out there for hours. I can go out there for about half an hour, just like decompress and walk back home. Little things like that make a big difference in your quality of life and your mental health and just your overall well-being. So I hope you guys got something out of this today, because self-care is so, so important. And, like I said, we can't take care of ourselves. We're not going to be much good to anyone else. So make yourself a priority. And as always, come in, join in our group. I would love to hear, your insights or hobbies that you enjoy doing, or other things that have helped you through your recovery that may help someone else. So that is all for today. You guys have a great day.